A used Honda Civic with 100,000 miles costs 12 grand right now. A Toyota Corolla? Same story. Meanwhile, a Volkswagen with better build quality, a better interior, and in some cases a better engine is sitting on the same lot for half the price. 7 Volkswagens under $10,000 that most buyers are walking straight past. Nobody talks about this, but in 2026, the used car market has a massive blind spot. Volkswagen depreciates faster than almost any other major brand. A Golf that cost $28,000 new is worth $9,000 after 5 years. A Passat that's stickered at 35, 8 grand, and a Jetta, don't even ask, it falls off a cliff. For Toyota and Honda owners, that's confirmation bias. See, German cars are unreliable. But for smart buyers, it's the greatest arbitrage in the used car market. Because VW's depreciation isn't about quality, it's about perception. The average used Volkswagen is better built, better engineered, and more fun to drive than the Civic or Corolla sitting next to it. It just has a German badge instead of a Japanese one, and that badge costs you 30 to 40% less on the used market. Today, we're counting down 7 Volkswagens you can buy right now for under $10,000. Cars that drive like they cost twice as much. Cars that, if you pick the right engine and the right model year, will last just as long as anything from Japan. We're going from solid daily drivers to the one VW that might actually outlast civilization. Number 7. The Volkswagen Polo. And if you're watching from South Africa, the Polo Vivo. 2010 to 2018 models. $3,000 to $7,000 in the US for a standard Polo. In South Africa, a clean Polo Vivo goes for around 60 to 120,000 rand, roughly 3 to 7,000 US. This is the car that made VW the best-selling brand in South Africa. Not because of marketing, because of survival. The Polo Vivo with the 1.4 or 1.6 MPI engine is as close to unkillable as modern cars get. Port injection, no turbo, timing belt instead of chain. 3 things that can't fail because they don't exist, and 1 maintenance item that costs $300 every 60,000 miles. In India, the Polo with the 1.2 MPI or 1.6 MPI is equally trusted. Ask any taxi fleet operator in Mumbai or Delhi. They'll tell you the same thing. It starts every morning, and the parts cost nothing. The interior is basic. The power is modest. The entertainment system was probably outdated when the car was new. But as a daily driver that gets you from A to B without drama, without surprises, and without emptying your bank account, the Polo is genuinely hard to beat. Just avoid the 1.2 TSI. That's the turbo version with the timing chain stretch issue we covered in our worst engines video. Stick with MPI and you're golden. The Polo is the sensible choice. But number 6? Number 6 is a car that VW barely marketed, most Americans have never heard of, and it might be the most underrated city car on the planet. Number 6. The Volkswagen Up. Exclamation point included, VW's branding, not mine, 2012 to 2020. If you're in Europe, South Africa, or South America, you know this car. If you're in the US, you probably don't. VW never officially sold it there, though imports exist. And that's a shame. Because the Up is brilliant. A 1-liter 3-cylinder engine, chain-driven, not belt, making 60 to 75 horsepower. Sounds pathetic on paper, but the car weighs less than a ton. So it scoots, and it sips fuel at around 50 to 60 miles per gallon in real-world driving. The interior is surprisingly good. VW didn't cheap out on the touch points. The seats are comfortable. The steering is precise. It drives like a shrunken Golf. In South Africa and Brazil, used examples go for $2,000 to $5,000. In Europe, $3,000 to $6,000. For a city car that parks anywhere, costs almost nothing to insure, and has a timing chain that doesn't need replacing, ever, the Up is an absurd bargain. The E-Up electric version is even more interesting if you can find one, but that's a separate video. The Up is a city car. But number 5 is a full-size sedan that Americans bought by the hundreds of thousands, and then completely forgot about. Their loss, your gain. Number 5. The Volkswagen Jetta Mk5 and Mk6, 2006 to 2018. This is arguably the most undervalued sedan in America right now. Clean examples with under 100,000 miles go for $4,000 to $8,000. For a car that shares its platform, its engines, and its engineering with the Golf, which somehow costs $2,000 to $3,000 more in the used market because it's a hatchback and therefore cool. The Jetta is the Golf in a suit. Same bones, same engines, less money. Because America decided sedans aren't trendy anymore. The later Mk6 Jetta, 2013 and a half onwards, with the 2.0 TSI and the EA 888 Gen 3 is the sweet spot. 210 horsepower, quick, reliable, and sitting on used car lots being ignored because it says Jetta instead of GTI on the trunk. The 2.5 inline 5 is the other solid option. It's slow, it's heavy, but it doesn't break. The only engine to avoid is the early 2.0 TSI with the Gen 1 or Gen 2 EA 888. You know why. If you're buying in India, the Jetta with the 1.4 TSI or the 2.0 TDI is widely available and well supported by the dealer network. For the money, the Jetta Mk6 is one of the smartest buys on this entire list. Quick one. If you're the kind of buyer who does research before spending money, you're our kind of viewer. Hit subscribe. We find the cars that are actually worth buying, not the ones with the biggest ad budgets. Back to the list. Alright, sedans and hatchbacks are great. But number 4 is for everyone who needs more space, more utility, and more versatility, without buying a massive SUV that drinks fuel like a frat house drinks beer. Number 4. The Volkswagen Caddy, 2004 to 2015. This is the Swiss Army knife of the Volkswagen lineup. And in most of the world, outside of America, it's one of the most popular vehicles on the road, built on the Golf platform. Available with the legendary 1.9 TDI or the 2.0 TDI, seating for 5 or 7 depending on the version. A cargo area that swallows furniture, luggage, or enough camping gear for a week. And it drives like a car, not like a van. Because it basically is a car. A Golf, stretched. The Caddy is enormous in South Africa, where it serves as everything from a plumber's work vehicle to a family weekend cruiser. In Europe, it's the default choice for anyone who needs van space without van handling. Used examples with the TDI engine and under 150,000 miles go for $5,000 to $9,000. The diesel versions routinely hit 300,000 miles. The petrol versions with the 2.0 or the 1.6 are equally solid if less fuel efficient. The only thing the Caddy isn't? Cool. It will never be Instagram worthy. It will never turn heads. But it will carry everything you own, return 40 miles per gallon, and start every single morning for the next decade. Sometimes the best car isn't the one that looks good. It's the one that works. The Caddy is the practical choice. But number 3? Number 3 is a car that was designed to compete with BMW and Mercedes, and it lost the badge war. But it won the value war, by a landslide. Number 3, the Volkswagen Passat B6 and B7 generations, 2006 to 2014. When this car was new, it cost $30,000 to $40,000. It had an interior that genuinely rivaled the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes C-Class. Soft touch materials everywhere, tight panel gaps, a driving position that felt expensive. The Passat was VW's bid for the executive market, and it worked. For about 3 years, until depreciation turned it into one of the best bargains in automotive history. Today, a clean Passat B7 with the 2.0 TSI and under 100,000 miles goes for $5,000 to $9,000. The wagon version, if you can find one, is even better. Same price, more space, and a look that says, I have my life together without saying, I spent 50 grand to prove it. The 2.0 TSI in the later B7, 2013 onwards, uses the EA 888 Generation 3, reliable, powerful, sorted out. The 1.8 TSI in 2014 plus US models is equally solid. Avoid the early B6 with the 2.0 FSI. Different engine, different problems. The Passat B7 is the car you buy when you want a BMW, but you're smart enough to know that the badge isn't worth the premium. And at $7,000, it's borderline theft. The Passat is the executive choice. But the top 2? These aren't just good VWs. These are 2 of the best used cars on the planet. Period. Any brand, any price. Number 2, the Volkswagen Golf Mk5 and Mk6, 2004 to 2013. This is the car that every automotive journalist calls the benchmark. And for once, the journalists are right. The Golf does everything well and nothing badly. It's comfortable enough for road trips, quick enough to be fun, practical enough for a family of 4, small enough to park anywhere, refined enough that you don't hate your commute, and built well enough that at 100,000 miles, it still feels tight. Used prices for a clean Golf Mk6 range from $5,000 to $9,000. The 2.5 inline 5 is the reliability pick, slow but solid. The 2.0 GTI with the EA888 Gen 3 from 2015 onwards in the Mk7, but late Mk6 GTIs also got improved engines, is the driver's choice. In South Africa, the Golf remains one of the most aspirational cars on the road. In India, it's a status symbol that's surprisingly well supported by the dealer network. The Golf Mk6 is the used car equivalent of a well-tailored navy suit. It works everywhere, it impresses without trying, and it costs a fraction of what the competition thinks it's worth. If you can only buy one car under $10,000 and you want something that does everything, the Golf is the rational choice. But number one isn't rational. Number one is legendary. The Golf is the car you buy with your head. Number one is the car you buy with your head, your heart, and the knowledge that it will probably outlive everything in your driveway, including the driveway. Number one, the Volkswagen Golf Mk4 TDI, 1999 to 2006. You knew it was coming. If you've watched our Bulletproof Engines video, you know why. The 1.9 TDI is the most reliable engine Volkswagen has ever built. Documented cases of 500,000 miles on original internals, a maintenance schedule that's embarrassingly simple, fuel economy that makes hybrid owners jealous, and a build quality, the Mk4 Golf's interior specifically, that still shames most new cars 20 years later. A clean Golf Mk4 TDI with a manual transmission costs $3,000 to $8,000 today. For that money, you get a car that will run for another 200,000 miles without major work. That's 1 to 2 cents per mile. For a car with German build quality, genuine driving pleasure, and an engine that treats 300,000 miles as a warm-up. The Mk4 TDI is the intersection of everything this channel talks about. Bulletproof engine, smart depreciation, real-world value. It's not flashy, it's not fast, it's not going to impress anyone at a car meet. But in 10 years, when every crossover SUV from this era is rusting in a junkyard, the Golf Mk4 TDI will still be running, asking for nothing but an oil change and a timing belt. The best VW under $10,000 isn't the newest, it isn't the fastest, it's the one that simply will not die. Now, one important warning before you go shopping. There is one VW you should absolutely avoid under $10,000. The Volkswagen CC 2009 to 2017. It looks stunning. The four-door coupe design is genuinely beautiful, and the prices are tempting, $6,000 to $9,000 for a car that looks like it costs $30,000. But the CC uses the EA888 Gen 1 and Gen 2 in most model years, the timing chain tensioner we covered in our worst engines video. Combine that with an air suspension system that costs $2,000 to repair, electrical gremlins that would make a British car jealous, and a sunroof notorious for leaking, so common it triggered a class action lawsuit, and you have a car that's cheap for a very good reason. Beautiful on the outside, expensive nightmare on the inside. The CC is the trap that catches buyers who shop with their eyes instead of their spreadsheets. Don't be that buyer. So there you have it. 7 Volkswagens under $10,000 that most buyers completely overlook. The Polo, the unbreakable daily. The Up, the city car nobody expected. The Jetta, the sedan America forgot. The Caddy, the Swiss Army knife. The Passat, the executive sleeper. The Golf, the benchmark. And the Mk4 TDI, the car that simply will not die. Quick buying checklist before you go. 1. Always get a pre-purchase inspection. $150 now saves you thousands later. 2. Check the engine code. Same model, different engine, completely different reliability. 3. Service history matters more than mileage. A well-maintained car with 150,000 miles beats a neglected car with 60,000 every time. 4. Manual transmissions last longer than automatics and VWs. If you can drive stick, do it. Now, my question. If you had $10,000 and could only buy one VW from this list, which one would it be and why? Drop your pick in the comments. I read every single one. Like this video if it changed how you think about used Volkswagens. Subscribe if you want more honest buying guides without the dealer spin. Next week, we're heading to Japan. 5 engines that simply refuse to break. I'll see you in the next one. Until then,